Right, welcome back, Brainiacs. Today we're going to be diving deep into the fascinating world of the brain. My name is Hervé Kibasa from Neuron Supplements, and if you're interested in how this £3 powerhouse in our skulls work, you've come to the right place. Now, let's get straight to it. Let's start with the basics before we get into the nitty-gritty. The brain is made up of billions of nerve cells called neurons, hence the name of our company, Neuron Supplements. Think of neurons as the brain's messengers, communicating through electrical and chemical signals, okay? So neurons, billions of cells that communicate through chemical and electrical signals. Now, how does the messaging system work? Well, when a neuron gets a signal, it fires off an electrical impulse along its axon. And at the end of the line, the message jumps to the next neuron through a small gap called a synapse, okay? So electrical impulse along the axon, once it gets to the end, jumps to the next neuron through the synapse. I'll be leaving links in the description for any keywords, buzzwords that you might not know. So don't feel like, oh, okay, I don't know these words. I'm lost. I'll be helping you out. And of course, feel free to comment and ask away. I'll be replying to comments and everything. So cool. Once the electrical impulses jump to the next neuron, neurotransmitters come into play. And neurotransmitters are the brain's chemical messengers. They jump the synapse and bind to receptors on the receiving neuron. So that's the transmitting of the signal, okay? Once that message gets to the end of the line and it's going through that synapse, the transmitter jumps to synapse, okay? Now, think of all this, and you're probably imagining this already. It's like a big network, right? All these neurons form multiple networks. So think of the brain like a motorway with loads of different cars moving. The cars are the neurons. They form networks, and they're each responsible for specific functions: memory, feeling and emotion, decision making, creativity. The different parts of the brain, different networks of neurons that are responsible for different things. One of my favorite things about the brain is its plasticity. And when I say plasticity, I'm not talking water bottles. I'm not talking Instagram models. I'm talking, the ability to shape, bend at will, at your will, without any limits. In case you have any limits, but the brain is capable of learning from experience well into old age, and that can strengthen the neuron connections, or it can weaken the neuron connections depending on the experience, okay? But this is why we can adapt. This is why we can learn new skills. This is why we can recover from injuries quicker if our brain is in the right place. It's true. So if you ever feel like, I'm terrible at maths, you ever hear people that are defeatist and say, I'm terrible at that, so I'm not going to attempt it. No, you can learn pretty much anything if you apply yourself. You can learn that language, you can learn that new skill, and don't think just because, you finish school, you finish university, learning is done. No, keep learning, keep seeking out knowledge. Your brain needs it, it will thank you for it, and your brain can handle it, okay? Now, different regions of the brain handles different tasks, okay? I like to think of this as a record label. They've just signed an artist, they want them to blow up, they want a big hit song. So you need different parts in play for this hit song. It's how the brain works. So the frontal lobe helps with decision making. So think of the frontal lobe as the producer that decides the sound, decides the direction you're going. Think of that as the producer, maybe the manager. And then the hippocampus is the memory maestro, the hippocampus. So the hippocampus holds all the memories, and it can reimagine memories. So often how you remember things aren't exactly how they were. So think of the hippocampus as the songwriter drawing from its memory to bring life to the song, to convey something, to make you think of something. Do you know what I mean? Or feel an emotion. But speaking of emotion, The amygdala takes care of that. So the frontal lobe, decision making, hippocampus, memory, the amygdala, your emotions. I like to think of the amygdala as the artist performing it, because that's where you feel the emotion. That's where it will come from the performance. So yeah, all working together to make a hit song, or to make your brain function, basically. So when you think, feel, or move, it's not just one part of the brain working. It's a coordinated effort involving loads of regions, multiple networks, and it's like a dance. Think of it like a dance group. So many people are stepping, but all these steps that they're doing forms one whole routine. They all contribute to the whole routine. Okay. Now, excuse me. Now, ways in which you can build brain endurance. This is very important. Obviously, we're very passionate about that here, as we've created a supplement that helps with brain endurance greatly and performance. Now, I will list you off a few things that will help. Number one, regular exercise, my favorite. Regular exercise, physical activity. It increases blood pressure for the whole body, including the brain. Okay, so it's very important for improving your brain function, improving your brain health, endurance, but also reducing cognitive decline, your brain decline. So it doesn't have to be lifting weights 5-6 times a week. It doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be, I need to run a 5k every week. No, it can literally just be go for a long walk every day. It can be, if you work from home, replace your normal desk with a stand-up desk and stand up for a few hours, stand up in the morning. So whatever it is to get your blood going, you have a pet dog, go for regular walks as you would. Whatever it is, whenever you're feeling stressed out, go for a walk. Do something physical and your brain will thank you for it. Okay. Now, number 2 is mental stimulation. Keep your brain engaged with activities that challenge your brain. Okay. So this can include puzzles, games, video games, learning something new, as I said, or having intellectually stimulating conversations. It's as simple as that. So if you find that you might not have many people to have an intellectual conversation with, read books, pick up books, read books to learn something new as well. So then you're getting that intellectual stimulation with learning something new. Podcasts, intellectual podcasts. You're listening to this video, so you're learning something new. So just find ways to keep learning, to keep stimulating your mind, to keep exciting it. Don't doom scroll on TikTok and Instagram. Try to cut that out, because you're getting regular dopamine, small dopamine hits, and it will starve your brain for that hunger to learn more, to be stimulated. It's so hyper stimulated that then it crashes. So really try to limit your social media doom scrolling and your binge watching of trash TV. We all do it. Hold my hands up, we all do it. But try to limit that and try to focus your time more on more intellectual things, and just call a friend and have a deep conversation. So number 3, already touched on this in our first video, which is nutrition and a balanced diet. Okay, another favorite of mine. Remember, proper nutrition is crucial for your brain health. Okay, we spoke about it before, the superstar nutrient, which is omega-3 fatty acids. But yes, include fruit, veg, whole grains, lean protein. Okay, it's not hard to remember. Fruit, veg, whole grains, lean protein. You get that in your body regularly, very beneficial for your brain function. Okay, now number 4 is lots of sleep. Lots of sleep. Listen, I don't care how busy your life is. I don't care how many kids. That sounds harsh, but I don't care, because there aren't many things, believe me when I say there aren't many things more important than 7 hours sleep minimum. Okay, so I need everyone watching this to make sure, if you're not getting it, get 7 to 9 hours sleep minimum. Okay, leave a comment, let me know what your average sleep time is. Get yourself a smartwatch. Yeah, get yourself something like that that tracks your sleep, so then you can track it and you know, okay, this is how much sleep I'm getting, this is the quality sleep I'm getting. Right. And that, we all know sleep just helps with everything. It helps with recovery, physically, mentally. It's so good for you. Number 5, can't stress this one enough. Stress management, okay? Stress management. We know that chronic stress in extreme cases can have fatal consequences, okay? But I mean, regardless of that, it's very detrimental to your brain, okay? And for your body. Stress is one of the number one killers in our world. So what I need you guys to do is to practice mindfulness, meditation, deep breathing, yoga. All these things will help greatly in terms of reducing your stress. Now, you don't have to do all of these things, but it's good to do multiple. You know, it's good to do more than one, because it's not always just one thing that helps you. Or you can take one to the extreme, so you can get really into meditation and meditate for hours sometimes, or you can become a yogi and be able to bend and fold in different positions. Now, me personally, I'm very bad at yoga. I'm not flexible, which is an excuse. It's not an excuse, because I can work on it, but I'm trying to work on it. But for me, I find meditation easy. So that's what I do every day. I meditate every day, 2 times a day, 3 times a day. So I find that easy, and I find that always works. And deep breath work I do sometimes as well. If you find that all of those things aren't for you, then you can, like me personally, before, exercise was where I released my stress. I used to box, so boxing releases stress, or you play football with your friends, whatever. Something that you can just let it all out on. And that could be a friend that you pick up and talk to your problems, talk about your problems too. Or, you know, a loved one or whatever. And in extreme cases, I wouldn't say extreme, I feel like most people should do this, go and seek therapy, seek a therapist, so that you can talk through your stresses to them as well. But yeah, whatever you can do to decrease your stress, do it. It's very, very important. Next, brain boosting supplements. Yeah. I'm sure some of you could have guessed that one. But yeah, here at Neuron Supplements, obviously we specialize in that, and our product will be out soon. But yeah, some supplements, especially the ones that have omega-3 fatty acids, but also vitamin D and antioxidants, these greatly help with your brain endurance, okay? Now, 2 more. Limit your alcohol and drug abuse. I said drug abuse. I hope if you're watching this, you're not abusing drugs, but yeah. Limit your alcohol, limit substance abuse. If you can, eliminate it completely. Go teetotal. I'm sure I don't have to go into the damage that all these things do. I probably will make a whole video about different substances and the damage that they do to your brain, but we know off the bat, alcohol kills brain cells, and I'm sure we know why a lot of substances are banned. So limit those or completely remove them from your life. Finally, hydration. Okay, water. The key to proper function of all of your organs is water. So I would recommend to stay properly hydrated, at least 1 liter of water a day. At least 1 liter. I've got mine right here. Get me 1.5. Yeah, I'm halfway through, and in fact, it's my second fill. So I've had about 2 liters of water already. You can see why I have so much energy. And yeah, those were several ways that you can increase your brain endurance and keep it healthy. Now, I'll leave you with one lesser known fact, as I like to do. One fact that many people don't know is our brain has the ability to generate electricity. Yeah, we have superpowers. I'm a big fan of 4, so it really excites me to learn that our brain can generate electricity. But yeah, the brain doesn't just receive electrical signals, it also produces its own electrical signals. Now, The brain's electrical activity can be measured using an EEG. I'm not going to pronounce the full name. I'm going to put it at the bottom here while I'm talking. But EEG. Because neurons communicate with each other using electrical signals, right? And when a large group of neurons fire, this can be picked up. This pattern of electrical signals can be picked up. It can be detected. And it can vary depending on the state of your brain and depending on what sort of cognitive task you're doing, what task you've how much I guess pressure your brain is under. So yeah, when you're really relaxed, things are pretty slow, and when your adrenaline is up or you're doing something intense, your neuron circuits are firing. Okay, so what's particularly interesting is that the brain doesn't rely solely on external stimuli for this. It also generates its own spontaneous electrical rhythm. So this electrical activity is a fundamental aspect of the brain's functioning, and it plays a role in various cognitive processes. So in essence, your brain isn't only an information processor, but it's like an electrical powerhouse. You know, it's a source of power in itself, constantly buzzing, even when you're not conscious of it. In your sleep, you know, they say in our sleep our brain works harder than when we're awake, and it works intuitively. Now we know this from our dreams, but we also know that during sleep, everything we learn, our brain processes that, and our brain tends to delete the things that we don't need and keep the things it thinks we don't need, and keeps the things it thinks we need. So there you have it. That's a crash course on how the brain works, how to keep the brain endurance up. And I've lost my train of thought. I've actually forgotten other things I said. But look, the more we understand the brain, the more we can appreciate how incredible the human mind is. Okay, now that you know these things, certain situations in your life are going to be put in a different perspective, and the way you also deal with people will be different. Your perspective will be different, because the more you understand the brain and the mind and how it works, the more you can control it, and you can control your output. You know, if you know what I mean. It's a very powerful thing to have this knowledge. But look, if you enjoyed this brainy journey, please give it a thumbs up, hit the like, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell. Please share it with your friends. And like I said, leave comments. Leave comments if you want me to speak about anything specific about the brain and body. Again, let me know how much sleep you're getting. All right, I want to know. I'm very interested because you find a lot of people aren't getting those 7 to 9 hours. But yeah, until next time, keep your neurons firing and stay curious. Okay, see you next week.